I had a 90-day window to pull it all off. In the middle of that, my wife got sick, and basically Trump got on stage and said, "Welcome to Liberation Day," and then everything imploded. Sri Lanka's in a really interesting place. I know you mentioned this kind of juncture that we always come into and then we eventually shoot ourselves in the foot. I think this time it's different. All my bets are local. I have zero investments outside of the country. Because I have somewhat of like a following on social media and like people watch this stuff, I have an advantage because when I start doing something, a bunch of people message saying, "Hey, I also have access to XYZ. I know this person. Can I introduce you to this one?" As much as you have a bunch of haters, you have a group of people that are supporting you. Culturally, we also have this challenge where people are generally scared to ask questions.
Yeah.
In reality, the worst thing you can do is not ask questions and understand the problem in itself. And I blame the education system for that. The talent needs to be incredibly passionate about what they're doing. Eventually, everything we do is problem solving. Those that are passionate about solving those problems, those people kind of deliver 10 times the value of those that just get the work done. Look, the world is not fair. Resources are not evenly distributed, and you can complain about it, but because you complain about it, it will not redistribute resources. For me, I'd rather work on the building than the moving.
So good. Bhanuka Harischandra, welcome to the podcast. I remember seeing some videos of you running. The first time I ever saw you on socials was like these running videos of like, "Hey, I just went for a jog."
Right, yeah.
And that was like during that time of like starting to take the meds?
Social pressure that I put on myself to lose weight.
It was inspiring, by the way.
When did we first meet? Because it was a while ago.
We connected. I'm gonna say we connected during Asanka's 2048, like in person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But I think we've kind of virtually connected a while back here and there.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Hey, I remember you had Hutch as a client."
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey."
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. That was when Surge was like doing its thing. And it was such a cool story because I got to see a brand grow on socials. For me, that was new for Sri Lanka. Like to see something from start to like where it is today. Like that's
I mean,
new.
we were just winging it, right? Like at the time there.
He's like, fuck it. Just do whatever.
Yeah. So when we had Hutch, that was probably 2017, 16, or even earlier than that.
Yeah.
So I lost the bulk of my weight in 2017. I was like 128 kilos.
Yeah.
And I lost like 100 pounds, so like 50 kgs.
From just running?
Mostly like the traditional Subway diet. I was calorie counting like crazy. Roast chicken salad, extra chicken, no sauces, Diet Coke twice a day, every day for 9 months straight. It was painful, but it worked really well. And then that with cardio, I mean, that's kind of what I did.
Nice.
It worked out really well.
Yeah. And is that like the thing with diets for me is like, it's not like a sustainable thing.
Oh, right? Absolutely. Right. Like for me, it was more of the fact of the December before I started.
Yeah.
I was bedridden because of the disease. Right. And they were like, "Look, the heavier you are, the more painful it's going to be for you. Because your joints are already kind of under pressure.
Yeah.
And you're fat. Like not a great combination of
things."
things.
Just said that to you. They just looked at you.
They basically said that if you don't fix this, you're probably going to die. And I'm like, okay, that's
not good.
Yeah. And I obviously wanted to lose weight. I've tried dieting before. It just hasn't worked. I think that time it was more of I really committed and I locked in and I just did it.
What works for you today? What have you kind of figured out over time? Like, okay, I have my work. Like work for me, sometimes this whole balance thing doesn't really.
I can't. Yeah, same.
You know,
I get a lot of slack for this because what I do is not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It's not moderate food control, moderate exercise and all of that. It is, I go through cycles, right?
Yes.
I love food.
Yes.
Food is amazing.
Yes.
So I go through.
Helps you live.
Yes. I go through, and you know, in the work that we do, there's always a lot of dinners and meeting people, and it's always centered around food, right? Like everything is centered around food.
Yeah.
And for me, and you know, it's not that and as a former like obese person, the love for food you had when you were nearly 130 kilos doesn't really go away. It's still there, right? So for me, it was more of okay, let's go through these cycles. And it was very intense amounts of working out, kind of restricting myself, skipping meals. Like I've gone like 7 days with zero food.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the exact opposite. So I go through this fluctuation. So at any given point, I think I'm like 82 today. At any given point, I'm anywhere between 85 to 75, which is a spread.
Yeah. I personally like the idea of going through a life where you kind of like the pendulum swings, right? Like there's a season where you have to pay attention, which is your priorities, your work.
Yeah.
And there's a season where, hey, maybe my priority is my family, my wife, my kids. And like you swing that way for that time because like seasons change. And I feel like that whole strict mentality of like, or a strict lifestyle of like, oh, I only eat this. And like, this is bad for you. Don't eat that.
I could never. So like, I mean, last year I was probably like my heaviest in a while, just because we were going through a merger and it was.
And this was with Surge and
Kalsi.
So
that was it was an intense setup. We had bought out our previous investors. We had tried to raise money. And in the middle of the raise, we had commitments and then the commitments all fell through. Basically, Trump got on stage and said, welcome to Liberation Day. And then everything imploded. So it was, and I had a 90-day window to pull it all off. In the middle of that, my wife got sick and I had to go through all of that. So it was kind of rushing back between the hospital and the bank and the lawyers every day. And obviously when that happens, you kind of put health and all of that aside.
Absolutely.
Probably not the right way to do it, but I do, at least for me, I feel like the cyclical nature of it is what works. But yeah.
That's fair. And that was the 40 million tech merger. The news called. And so you had H&B with you?
H&B was the investment bank that facilitated the transaction. Right. Basically what happened was when we couldn't, like we needed to raise $6 million-ish something dollars.
Okay.
And we were trying to raise the whole thing with equity. We raised only a quarter of it.
Okay.
Because of the investor kind of fallout during the whole tariff. Which lasted for like a couple of months, right? It wasn't a 1 day thing. And after that, we did the rest through debt. And the good thing about H&B is it's both an investment bank as well as a bank. So they can, if they believe it's a good deal, they themselves will finance the transaction, which is what happened.
Right. That's phenomenal. And so now you guys have moved. I remember seeing a building come up right next to the Liberty roundabout. So that's your new office space. You guys moved in?
Yes, we have.
Oh, nice.
There's a couple of floors that we need to do. It's just like everything has just been moving full steam ahead. Someone has to sit down with the interior guys and sign it off and get that done. But other than that, we're there. The Calcey office is still in Trace.
Okay.
They've been there for like nearly a decade and a half and they're still there.
So if somebody, for a simpleton like me, who does not understand what Surge does, please explain to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
So we're a technology consulting firm. We really help businesses with 3 things. We help them kind of navigate their digital strategy. How should a business exist online effectively? And we help build the technical infrastructure for that business, their websites, their apps, their platforms, their infrastructure, their cloud, their cybersecurity, all of that stuff. And then we run the growth element of their business, which is helping them drive demand online, ads, social media, creatives, all of that stuff.
Got it. So the merger with Calcey, how is that affecting what Surge does?
So Calcey has pretty deep technical expertise. So they've always been a pure engineering house.
Back end kind of.
The less sexy side of technology, but they're really competent, right? So what happened was we were historically before this transaction, we were like 50-50 split in the middle between engineering and marketing.
Okay.
And I think now we're more lopsided. We're like 75 engineering, 25 marketing, just because the Calcey guys kind of increased the size of our dev side. So basically we are like, it's the same thing. It's just that our depth of capability and the total capacity of work we can handle has now expanded.
Yeah. And you've called what you do like storyteller capitalist.
Is it? Did I say that? I don't think I've said that.
I don't know.
I feel like you're kind of making stuff up, which is fine. Look, I think...
Or ChatGPT kind of brought it up for us.
So I think it's like this, right? I think if you can the modern economy is like very attention focused. And if you can capture attention well, I think you have a significant advantage over your competition. So what we've done is we've used the same principles of how to tell a story, how to find an audience, how to build distribution, and then deployed projects against that distribution, which has allowed us to kind of trial things very quickly, validate products. And, this has gone from everything from technology to non-tech stuff. Like we have silly investments in like we have a beverage brand that we tried to launch like a year ago. And we spent remarkably small amounts of money on it. Direct to consumer, all of the sales are going through Uber Eats. And, we're moving like 100,000 cans. By the end of this year, we'll probably be moving 100,000 cans a month. And it's like really just social media and all of that stuff.
What's the brand?
It's a brand called Dose of Island.
Okay. Yeah. It's really nice. I like the branding. It looks clean and simple.
I mean, that's what we know, right? So we're basically like, okay, if we understand this core skill set, we can layer it with someone else's skill set, which is manufacturing. And we are confident our investment in that manufacturing business can now do better output because we know these other things that the manufacturer didn't have skills in.
Right. That's interesting. So when it comes to developing these teams based on when you started, right? In Sri Lanka specifically, one of the things that I faced is I would say labor or people that they're not efficient. In my opinion, the workforce isn't efficient, but there's a lot of people that I've met that have made me fall in love with this process of building people up to a place where they work the way they work, but they work in a way that the company benefits.
Yeah.
How have you because you understand efficiency really well, but you've also adapted to how people work in Sri Lanka.
I think Charlie Munger has this quote, which I truly live by. He says that incentives always drive outcomes, right? And I think if you have teams and you're building teams and they're sufficiently incentivized, I feel like that's probably the most, like what works the best. Like the problem that I've noticed and the reason why, early stage when Surge started, we really had we struggled hiring talent, right? No one wanted to work. No one knew who we were. It's a bunch of kids, right? For us, we wanted to make sure that we communicated to the world that we are the best paying, we are transparent, good culture, all of that stuff. And we explained to people as to, okay, how do you build your career? How do you increase your compensation and all of that? That narrative really worked well. Helped us build a brand and helped us build talent. And even today, the team members that we have, they're kind of responsible for their own P&L. And I think that has been the number one differentiator here. And it's quite easy because very few companies do it. Most companies see talent as a cog in a machine rather than a value creator. So if you are able to convince your team, here's how they can add value to the organization, and here's how the organization adds value back to them. And I think both of those things are really important. You can really drive that machinery. But look, I think, we are in an island and all islands are somewhat more laid back. It's not, the energy you have on the road in like Horton Place is not the energy you have in New York, right? Like, I think that is the nature of the industry, presents both challenges as well as opportunities because your competition, especially if you're servicing some of the work in the local market, your competition has the same barriers as you do.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. How, in terms of, I think it's a culture thing also. Like I've been told it's important to, more than skills, sometimes culture matters. Like if there's somebody that is willing to adopt the culture of your organization,
for sure,
that's more important than the skill set.
So it's tricky, right? It goes both ways, especially if you're doing like deeply technical work.
Yeah,
you do need to be skilled, right? I would love to be able to have someone who has zero skill, and I suppose the argument with AI is that we're moving closer to that society where the skill itself is being decentralized from that, in which case culture is everything.
Yeah.
But I think as of today, culture, and more like, I wouldn't even call it culture, but really for us, what we look at is how, like, do you care about the problem that you're trying to solve? And are you consistent enough? Are you persistent enough? And will you grit it out? Because very few people do. And if you find that person, figure out how you can, we don't even really care if they're not technically skilled. We'll find a place to put them within the organization just because we want that energy in the business.
Right. And wait, like just out of curiosity, when you talk about the energy thing, what does that look like? Is it people that just share that they, even if they don't know how to get something done, that they'll get it done? Or like, what are the characteristics that...
I think they need to be incredibly passionate. Look, we haven't figured out the solutions to everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think the way I look at it is that the talent needs to be incredibly passionate about what they're doing.
So good.
And it shows, right? Like the way eventually everything we do is problem solving. And those that are passionate about solving those problems, like they care about the work. There's quality in the output. Yes. They don't want to send something out until they feel happy with what they've done. I think that's a very rare kind of skill set. Yep. And then there's a different group of people that go, this is what I need to produce. Let me produce it. I'm done. Yeah. And what we've seen over the last decade is that those people that really care about the output kind of deliver 10 times the value of those that just get the work done.
Yeah.
And for me, in an ideal world, I don't even want to service external clients, right? I just want to get the really good group of people and build our own things.
Nice.
And that's kind of the eventual vision that we're kind of running towards.
Like what? Like making your own cool...
So we have a couple of like products, right? On the technology side as well.
Okay.
They're still very, very nascent. Like we have an HR platform that helps companies actually manage talent, right? Like hire, manage, retain talent. We're moving that into kind of this really interesting ecosystem together with payments and everything.
Okay.
The technology, like our own intellectual property we have today manages about 25,000 people. I would like that to manage 25 million people.
Wow.
And for that, we need to put in a lot more effort.
Wow.
So it's a fun journey.
Yeah. 25 million people. That's a big number.
That's like ideal scenario, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a long way to go before we get there.
That's awesome. So in terms of, so you're talking from tech products in
Yes.
itself. Okay. Because you're not going to get into like doing canned beverages. You're just helping people out.
Well, we are in canned beverages.
So that Dose of Island is your thing.
It is my thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So what I meant was, I suppose it goes to the whole kind of storyteller capitalist vibe comment that you mentioned.
The thing that I made up through ChatGPT.
So like we've made random investments in random companies, from beverages to agriculture to baking to like, I think we've made around 20-ish investments, which are supporting a total team of about 1,000 people.
Nice.
And it's the investments are very uncorrelated. It's mostly that we see some founder that's incredibly passionate about what they're doing. Sometimes it doesn't even make financial sense. I think have you heard of this like media business? It's not even a real business yet. It's a channel called Kehelmala.
Yes.
So like that, right? It's
amazing skits. Kehelmala, I really love like these little excerpts from these scenes or film, feels like a film that and it's all over social media. It's like Sinhalese and Sri Lankan stories. It's very creative. Yes.
We have no idea how to commercialize it.
Right.
But we will continuously write that check, hoping that in the future we will figure out how to commercialize it.
Yeah.
We tried taking third-party money for like branded work and things like that. But the minute people kind of try to write a check, they have so strong opinions around how the script should be, how the messaging should be, and it just kills it. So, the founders of that business have a very strong sense that they will eventually build like Netflix style content. And I'm like, if someone in Sri Lanka is going to do it, they probably have a good chance. So
absolutely.
Let them take that shot, right?
Yeah. It's the people that actually take the step. Like at least they're taking the step to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna come to a point where, there's going to be a company that's just going to straight jump into the deep end and say, hey, we're ready to do a Netflix thing. It's the people that actually do those little micro steps.
Like incremental improvements, right?
Absolutely.
And when you operate the way, like I spent such a long time convincing them to actually push their content on TikTok.
Yeah.
Our investment was contingent on, like they've been making this stuff for a while.
Yeah.
And it's just been sitting inside a private Vimeo account.
Oh.
Which to me made no sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, at one point when you have that conversation with whoever, they need to know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen with you having a show reel. It's going to happen because you've demonstrated your ability to produce this content.
Yep.
And everyone knows who you are. And, you know, that was like a year and a half or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And from that, like it has, from a social media standpoint, it's become somewhat of a household name.
Absolutely. It's phenomenal. I love their skits. I feel like some of them are like hit and some of them don't, but it's made for different audiences, which is what I love. And again, like you said, like the ones that take those incremental steps, the moment they announce, hey, we're ready to do a Netflix styled show about an Asian guy falling in love with a Sri Lankan girl. I don't know, whatever the concept is, man, like people are ready to consume that. Right?
Yeah.
They trust the brand.
And like the insight that we brought onto that investment was, you know, we understood that they knew how to tell a story because they were telling good stories.
Yeah.
They didn't understand how distribution works. For us to say, hey, chop it into 100 different pieces, put it up on TikTok, it'll naturally distribute itself was not like, it's weird. Like that's natively understood for us. But, you know, for them, it was like, that seems like work. There's no outcome. And then looking back at it, they're like, this is the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah. Because you're going into where the world's attention is right now, right? Like I think microdramas specifically in Hollywood
and China. I don't know if you've been
destroying the game, bro. Like it is insane. The studio sizes of that it's wild. Like even like in LA, like the microdramas that are produced there, they're moving out of LA because of the bureaucracy of like getting things done fast, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
So everyone's moving out. So like Wisconsin, where we're based, it's this new, it used to have tax incentives, but they kind of took it off. And at the same time, Georgia, and you watch a movie, you see Georgia, like filmed in Georgia, they brought in their tax incentives. Now it's known as like this amazing destination to film, make a movie. So Wisconsin's doing the same thing. They just had like a film office, the commissioner come in and they're starting tax incentives again. So now everyone just wants to go to the new place because it's faster. It gets things done. There's no layers. Sri Lanka is in such a unique position. We're at that junction one more time. This is like the 7th time this has happened. Sri Lanka's like ready. We're like, we're here. Shall we bring this incentive and like actually create something where it's like streamlined, where yes, foreign productions come and do their thing, but we have to benefit from it.
Right.
Like right now, like the issue that we're facing is there's only a handful of people that are skilled at one particular thing. Like you have a very skilled audio engineer, you have a very skilled gaffer, very skilled grip. There's a handful of them. But the moment a foreign production comes in, all of those guys are out.
Right. Okay.
And then you have like this issue of like, okay, so who do we have? And so then you can't really scale that because like the quality control thing is like out the window because all of the good guys are gone for this one particular production. And so if you talk to anybody during that time, it's like, oh, where's so-and-so? It's like, that the guy's at that film doing with that Indian company. I was like, oh, great. So we don't have that guy now. So Sri Lanka is like a very unique place. And I feel like what you're building towards with Kehalmala and the micro shorts and the micro dramas is where we're heading as well in Sri Lanka. Micro dramas is the way to go.
I think it's the easiest way to consume the content, right? It would be great if you figured out how to monetize it, but that's another problem for another day.
But there's companies like Real Short and they're doing, I mean, you can make money that way too, right? It's based on viewership.
I don't know whether the local consumer is ready to pay for effectively premium content yet, right? And I've been looking at the Real Short business model, and one of the biggest issues is that the minute one individual pays for it, someone rips it off, downloads it, puts it on YouTube, and you have the full length videos on YouTube, which is fine. In that economy, it's large enough that you can both be profitable and have leakage in the YouTube space. I don't think in Sri Lanka you have an audience that's large enough to pay for it.
Because it's Sinhalese content or?
Because I just think like we have 20 million people. Digitally, we have 10 million people that would consume and pay for content, probably less than 1% of that. So for them to be really interested, I mean, you need to have 10,000 people willing to pay. And I don't think we're there yet. I think you'll struggle, like, which is why paid news never got on in Sri Lanka, right? Like the minute you put something behind a paywall, it dies.
Right. Because you did, I remember during, was it during COVID? You had Watchdog?
Yeah. And I mean, we did that for fun, right?
That was so cool, though.
It was not a commercial venture.
Yeah.
It was just because we wanted to kind of fact check some information.
Absolutely.
And
just like how you fact checked me with that comment. He was like, that's not true. You made that. I was like, God damn it, ChatGPT. Why'd you get it wrong?
Well, this is the problem with AI.
It is.
It lies to you.
It does lie to you. Bastards.
Yeah, but I just think that, I mean, like if you look at Sri Lanka, like GDP per capita is scratching 4,000, right? Like there's not enough money for you. Like in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you need to solve food and shelter and everything and education. And only then do you get to microtransactions. I think for us, it's just not a priority.
Yeah. Is Netflix, is that like only within Colombo kind of thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
And Netflix, at least like utility value is high, right? Like you have fairly broad amounts of content that you can consume.
Yeah.
For a Cahill Mala style thing, for it to be, I mean, like Dialogue has tried this to build competitors for Netflix multiple times in Sri Lanka. Never worked out. I think they're trying again. Yeah. Called, I think, Dialogue Play or something. You can cut this stuff out if I'm kind of.
We're fine. We don't have no filter. You can swear. You can say, I mean, we're not talking anything bad about it.
No, I just don't think there's enough volume for that to turn a profit.
Right.
And eventually what happens is if the business model doesn't make financial sense, the quality of the output eventually starts to degrade because no one that's working on it can get paid.
Right.
So unless, everyone's like, the starving artist and wants to just see something good come out. Yeah. Which can work for short periods of time. It can't work forever.
Standards, the cornerstone on which you've built your legacy. It's taken a lifetime of discipline, dedication, and discretion. We understand. That's why we are redefining the standards of private banking. Because we know your standards will only get higher and higher and higher. Unlock a higher standard of private banking. Sampath Bank Private Banking. More begins here.
I mean, you look at the microdrama stories. It's like billionaire cheating on, wife with mistress. I don't know, something so stupid. It's just, but that's what is actually driving the entire industry.
It works. It sells. Like if you look at, so we do a lot of work in publishing.
Okay.
We have one of my first successful thing I've ever done. We launched this company called Publisher Rocket.
Okay.
We help authors figure out how many books they'll sell before they go live by using Amazon's search data for nonfiction, right?
Right.
So we analyze a lot of data in the publishing space. And I think we have about a couple 100,000 customers on that software. The types of books that are coming out now, the bulk of the volume is going towards like romantic, like smut, basically.
Okay.
But like a lot of it, like it's a girl and a werewolf and like,
dude,
you should look this stuff up, it's billions of dollars, right?
Wow.
Like, and it's dicey.
Yeah.
Like it makes like Epstein look like a good guy. And
the second time we mentioned Epstein on the podcast. Oh, so good. I love it.
But like, it's weird. And it sells like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's like the average consumer is like a 45-year-old woman in Iowa. And it sells.
Yeah, I feel like it's still tapping into the old way of doing it. Like you think of Jackie Collins, like that's like my mom would read that. I was like, and I read that one of the books and I was like, oh God, what is that? Like, Mom, gross. Ugh. But that, I guess the new audience just wants something a little bit more twangy. I don't know, a little twang in it.
But so, I mean, that's essentially what the real shorts are, right?
Yeah.
Like it is an adaptation of that. They know it works. They know it sells.
Yeah.
Why create new narratives when you commercialize it to that point, it becomes commodity.
Yeah.
Right. And like in all of these things, everyone's incredibly rich.
Yeah.
And it's like there's always like 3-4 affairs in the middle of this, and it works and people buy it.
It does work because I feel like there's that audience wants something that they know is going to happen. Like if you watch a Hallmark movie, it's the same concept, right? It's like big city girl comes to small town. She's about to close down a business, but then the guy who really loves the store that she's trying to close, that she falls in love.
And she was just about to get married the next week, and then the guy is like, "Whoa, what happened?"
It's predictable, but holy shit, the Hallmark industry is just like,
it works so well, and it sells 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, if you scroll like in Sri Lanka, you get a ton of those ads because what they do in terms of advertising is they don't have an audience. They know it sells globally, so they don't target. They just leave it blanket and run ads. Oh. And they'll just let the industry figure out who's going to pay for it and who's not.
Okay.
And so it's really cheap. So countries like Sri Lanka get a lot of that volume because they're looking for the cheapest views.
Right.
But like I'm pretty confident even in Sri Lanka, they're making some money.
Oh, for sure. I my thing is just how do we get that Hallmark kind of thing brought in here and be that destination component of the Hallmark thing that works, right? Like, why can't, big city girl fall in love with a guy from the beach? Why not?
That could probably work.
It would work. I've written a script for it too. So just call me Hallmark. No, but seriously, it's something that works. Why do we need to reinvent the wheel? Why can't we just tap into an industry that's already just like booming? And if they have this access, what a great destination to film.
I think the challenging it from a commercial point of view, right? Like some CEO or some executive somewhere has to make the financial call. It's a capital allocation call.
Okay.
They have to decide that I want to spend my money testing this out in Sri Lanka where it's a risk. Whereas if they spend more money in a different market and it even fails, it's still okay because they're not going to get fired for that decision because their predecessor did it. If they are the first person to try to do it in Sri Lanka, and unless it goes spectacularly well, he can get fired. And eventually all of these decisions come down to, can you defend the decision in front of a board? And sometimes it's tough, especially if you are the first of that decision.
Yeah. It's that I agree with that. And then I feel like then the ball comes back to our court. It's like, okay, can we independently produce this exactly?
I agree,
right?
100%. I think, like the likes of you guys need to go out there and build it.
Yes.
And then, hopefully it's good enough that it validates to someone else that, hey, this works. Let's do this at scale.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's where we're at. Like right now we're at that junction that I mentioned, is that we can either find a way to independently fund it, produce it according to the specifications that's required from whether it's Netflix, Nat Geo, whatever, put it out to market. And if they bite, they bite. If they don't bite, YouTube is also fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, this is the route that we took, right? With Kihama, like just put as much of it up on TikTok as possible. And then hopefully that will drive consumption. And then eventually, just one of the viewers of the millions of views that it generates needs to be someone says, hey, I need to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Right?
Yeah. Wasn't there was a YouTuber that had a movie called The Iron Lung that just self-distributed. And the dude made like, what was it? Like,
was it Markiplier who was?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Insane. I need to watch Iron Lung. I have not watched it.
I need to watch it too. But I mean, I just saw the fact that there was here's independent
Yeah.
from that, like from YouTube, and then it just goes straight to distribution, directly to distribution with these.
Have you been, I'm sorry, I know
platforms.
we're going completely out of topic, but
That's
have you
okay.
followed Corridor Digital?
Yeah.
They do some amazing things
Yeah.
with like incredibly shoestring budgets.
Yes. And honestly, that's what it is. Filmmaking is, I honestly think filmmaking is just like, you can just do it without even a budget.
What's your take on AI as a kind of person in the creative field?
Personally, I think we adopt it. I'm not shying away from it. We haven't used it in our commercial ventures yet because we're still like, we like to brew with it a little bit. So we've been doing like some specs. I think it's fantastic. I think it adds value to what you do. If you know how to use it right. Higgsfield has just literally changed the game. Again, not a huge fan of fully dependent on it. You still need to know how to shoot. You still need to have the fundamentals of filmmaking. You need to know how to frame. You need to know how to type it out. Like those little things is what a filmmaker is.
This is why I'm not particularly worried about the technology industry, right? Because, yes, it has made kind of producing code a lot cheaper, faster, easier.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can produce great things with it.
Exactly.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Exactly. We've had calls from companies that have tried to do their own, AI videos, and we're called to help. Hey, can you reposition this story? And we're like, yeah, of course we'll help. Because they have to learn in the process, like, oh, we can do this ourselves now. And then they learn, oh shit, it's a lot harder than I thought. And then we're called to come in and save the day.
Like look at Adobe, right? Like they've built the tools forever. Mm-hmm. And just because you've had the tools doesn't mean you're no longer dependent on the designer itself. Mm-hmm. Language, I may be completely wrong like 5-10 years from now, but language models don't seem like a solution to solve the thinking part of the equation. It's aggregation, not thought.
That's really good. I love that.
I could be wrong.
No, but I love that. That should be like the freaking title of this thing. It is true that there's a lot of people that are most people that love a craft are purists, right? Yeah. Like, I get it. I am that too. But in order for us to move into where the world is heading, like movies on Netflix, like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck self-admitted that, while we were making this movie called The Rip, Netflix gave us this guideline, like we need to repeat the plot over and over and over again in the movie because people are on their phones while they're streaming, which, okay, I get it. That's where they're at. Sure, this is where we need to pivot for now. It doesn't mean this is going to be like the whole thing for the next 5 years. It might change 2 years from now.
That's crazy though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's true though, but like literally I'm watching something. I watched Bridgerton with my wife. Actually, it's not too bad. Okay. I'm just saying Bridgerton is pretty entertaining.
No, look, it's queued up at our house as well. Like it's just a matter of time. I saw this unbelievable stat. I forget from where about billboard advertising for the drivers. And it mentioned that your efficiency on a cost metric is identical to paying for a physical billboard on the road, as well as like digital, like social ads on Meta.
Okay.
Because the driver has equal attention to the phone, like on a cost basis per impression, to the physical billboard, which is so funny. Right? Because it means I can target the driver because the driver's on his phone.
Yeah.
While driving.
Flip, that's crazy.
That's probably not great.
Yeah. Well, I hope maybe, most of these Chinese vehicles that are in the country, like some of them look like they have like really cool screens on the dashboard itself. I wonder if like maybe they'll have like a safer way of
it's interesting, right? Because like there are like the new vehicles have cameras in front of the dashboard. And if you're falling asleep, it stops.
Oh, wow.
But it's both really interesting and partly scary because they're like monitoring your eye movements every time.
Oh, weird.
But,
that's right. So wait, is that like, so the cars that you're driving here in Sri Lanka, some of these ones that are, so it's like connected to like this central AI?
I think It's not, I don't think it's it's not live on the, so it's probably using like federated learning or some sort of on-device thing. So it doesn't have to connect to the internet to do that.
Got it.
But it can recognize a pattern and say, hey, your eyes are closing down, or you're looking down and you're behaving as you're falling asleep.
Okay.
And it slows the car down, puts you to a side and says,
Gotcha.
Hey, stop.
Yeah. Okay. So then there's no possibility of the car locking and driving you into a lake because the AI wanted to stop you from saying what you just said.
Well, it depends on what level of control the car is built on, right? Like operationally, if it's built on that, theoretically, it's possible.
Damn.
Which is both. It's also kind of cool.
It's freaking awesome. It's Terminators happening and we're ready. Dude, I think, in my opinion, where we're heading in the film industry and obviously in the tech world, in what you're doing, Sri Lanka comes for me, this junction perspective is so important. Like, we have to choose now of how we want to pursue this industry. Like, for me with film, I do believe microdramas are the way to go, because right now the film industry in Sri Lanka is catering only to a specific market. Like, if you drive past Film Association on Jawata Road and you look at like these film posters, there's a specific look and it's catered to a specific market, and the numbers, they have guaranteed viewership of these specific films, and they're like, this works.
Yeah.
If you were to advise like an industry like that to pivot, theoretically, what would you think they should do?
I think it'll be a tough one, because what will happen is that I think the likes of you guys, the likes of Kehel Mala, are there to disrupt them, and they will behave as laggards, right? Like, if you tell a business that has structured its entire economics around doing a specific thing, that the thing that they have been doing historically will no longer work, and for them to scrap it and rethink it, it's a really tough conversation. My recommendation would be to tell people to kind of like create as many different narratives, put it out there and see what people resonate to, would be the kind of way that I would think about it. And then let the insight from your audience help drive the new content that you produce. Yeah. Eventually it'll end up with the vampire short stories. But till then, like, it's how the progression usually works. Yeah. And I just think that's a tough pill for many people to swallow, right? In technology, the issue that we're having is, earlier the work volume was so large that you can take anyone that has an understanding of technology, give them work in a piece of a larger project. That is no longer the case today. Today, like, we can't hire thousands of people, throw them on projects, because the nature of those projects are shrinking. The teams are getting more lean and efficient, and you're moving away from entry-level generalist to specialists that have deep understanding of what they're doing. Yeah. And like, one of the biggest issues in Sri Lanka is we don't have a lot of specialist talent. Like what you mentioned with the guy who is the gaffer, and there's not enough of them. And our education kind of infrastructure isn't built to support that. Yep. And
that's where private institutions should come into play, right? To develop these.
I mean, to be fair, skills. On the private institutions, this kind of stuff is so new that even the leaders in that industry have enough of a grasp to tell educators that this is what needs to happen. And the educators don't have the best teachers to be able to teach something so cutting edge, because it's no longer like, it's not like you're teaching biology, right? Where how a cell works is still the same. Yeah. So you can effectively repeat something. Yeah. Whereas here, I think the nature of like the syllabus is changing as you're teaching it. Yeah.
So it has to be somebody, it has to be more like people that are doing the work in the process. So it's like for example, our company. Yeah.
You should be the educator.
Yeah. Because we're constantly adapting.
Yes. With how things are moving. If there is a teacher becomes somewhat of a middleman, right? In that equation. Yeah. because unless you are doing the teaching, it's going to be very difficult for a third party that is not in this room, that understands what you guys are going through, can explain to a student. Because the minute a single question comes up, how do you realistically answer that with a good amount of conviction?
Yes. Grounded in it. We kind of do that with our internship program, but it's not like I get paid. You guys should pay me. Well, I could make a lot of money. Okay, let's blame Bhanuka for making me now charge interns.
We've had internship requests where people have offered to pay us to join the internship, because rather than we pay the intern. Yeah. Which I thought was ridiculous. But we still can't take it because we don't have the capacity. Like, there's not enough people that can educate the demand.
Got it.
So it's just such a tricky.
It's just a dependency on you, essentially, at the end of the day. And
there's a lot more people in the business that are significantly smarter than I am. And like on the technical leadership side, the team is large, but we don't have like 100 people that can teach. We probably have like 10 people that can teach. And those 10 people
swamped.
They are the ones kind of working on the most critical projects. So I can't pull them out to teach. Yeah. And it creates a cycle. Maybe we have a responsibility where we kind of have to pull them out to teach. I don't know. But they're not necessarily cheap talent either, right? So the minute I pull them out, like I have to figure out how to pay their bills.
Or maybe it's like our framework of what an internship is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think like, most of the time, we're strapped, right? There's a lot of stuff that we're committed to, but maybe if the internship in itself is, you as an intern are taking the initiative to be like, let me ask that question now. There's an opening. And just being like surrounding yourself in that atmosphere can also.
I think culturally, we also have this challenge where, I don't know if you get this, but people are generally scared to ask questions. And they're afraid that they may sound stupid in the process of asking the question. In reality, the worst thing you can do is not ask questions and understand the problem in itself.
Yes.
And I blame the education system for that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of disincentive to ask questions.
Yeah. And that being like whether it's in a international school or a public school or a government school, whatever it is, it's whenever you ask a question, the teacher tells you to shut up and sit down. Most of the time.
Yeah. At least it was for us when we were in school. I don't know how
I got caned, bro. I had to stick my hand
asking questions.
Yeah. Well, not asking. Well, for also being a pain in the ass.
I feel like you probably got caned.
I was a pain in the ass. Yeah. It's Not at Asian International. I'm going to say they were really good, but at another school.
I went to honor there, right? Like you can imagine how that went. And I get shut on because I'm not like, I don't have the whole, we must die for our school thing. It's a bit overblown here.
Yeah, it is.
Like I know in the US you have that for university.
Yep.
But here we have it for like primary school and secondary school.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. It's the cricket fever season that it really comes to light. But it's cool, man. I think as a culture, we can shift and adapt, but it's a microdosing thing, right? Like over time, as the longer we stay here, the longer we are present, which I have massive honor and respect to what you do, is just you choosing to make it work here. You have had many opportunities to leave this country and go and do this and 10x or 12 or 20x your business, but you've chosen to stick around.
Look, I'm also being selfish, right?
You selfish bastard.
So like my entire family is here. My friends are here. So like, I don't want to like randomly leave and start over and build new relationships. And two, if you, like I've also been fortunate in being able to start something here. Like when we got Hutch as a client, right? Yeah. Like there's no chance in hell I would have gotten a telco in the US as a client, as a 20-year-old wearing shorts, rocking up to a board meeting, right? Yeah. Like it's not happening.
Yeah.
And like, granted, I got paid $300 a month for that gig. I think I would have gotten paid a lot more if I pulled that off there.
Yeah.
But look, that aside, so I think if you are able to build something.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a lot of competition here as well. So it was fairly easy to get started.
Yes.
It's very difficult to scale because you run into all these infrastructure bottlenecks from talent to everything, right? And there's just not a lot of capital in the market.
Just to pop in there. In one of the podcasts, I saw one of the comments that a producer sent me of somebody commented on another guest of who started a business or essentially took a family business and just scaled it up. But their first complaint was, it's very easy if you have capital and if you come from a family business.
So it's like this. I was watching this Chris Willis podcast yesterday, and it's about kind of generation 2 kids, right? And how they would argue that's actually arguably your quality of life and your happiness is not depending on how materially successful you are and how well you do. It actually anchors you from the point you're born to where you are now. Is your journey an improvement of quality, or is it a reduction? Like if your kids are not significantly more successful than your parents,
right?
Even though you may be better than 99% of the population, it's actually quite shit. Like imagine Elon Musk's kid, right? Like you may be able to pull everything off by yourself, make $1 billion, and 2 things will happen. One, the dude's worth 800 and 1 billion is like insignificant in comparison. And 2, everyone's, despite that they may be the person that's doing all the work, everyone's going to be like, obviously it worked out for you because you're Elon's kid, right?
Yeah.
So I think they have to deal with that. And then there's a lot of research that suggests that the reason that the kids kind of go into heavy drug use, lots of competition, and kind of are academically on the higher end is not because of tuition or anything. It's just because pressure from home to be able to kind of stand out for yourself. But if a kid starts something and like 10x's their parents, like kudos to you, right? Like obviously it is an advantage to start with capital.
Yes.
But it's still doing something.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, all the power to that, right?
But it's kind of like, I would think it's this framework that's built in their heads and this block already without even trying is like, oh, this only works because you had this.
And look, the world is not fair.
Absolutely.
Right? Resources are not evenly distributed, and you can complain about it, but because you complain about it, it will not redistribute resources.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to complain about it and whine and mope, or you have the ability to go out there and build your own resources.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I'd rather work on the building than the moping.
So good. When you're building, this is such a key thing for me. I was going to ask you, when you're building, do you build in silence or do you build out loud? I
build out loud. I get a lot of criticism for that because half of the things that we do don't work out. And everyone's like, oh, what happens when you say you're going to do something and you fail? I'm like, yeah, you fail. Like I don't have a guaranteed formula that would generate like we got into agriculture. We grew a bunch of stuff. I lost $1 million, just burnt through $1 million.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't know what I was doing.
Was this the vertical? No.
No. We have a company called Scattered Harvest.
Okay.
We export crops from Colombo to the Middle East primarily. We had our own plantations that I thought I was smart enough to do. Was not. Ran into so many issues. Like one time we increased the salaries of our planters, like our farmers, by about 75% because the currency swapped out.
Right.
And, like on the 16th day, we're starting to see less people showing up. And like 17th, 20th day, no one's there. And when you call them up, they're like, sir, I have enough money for the month. I'll come back next month. And no amount of education prepares you for that conversation. Because for you, you're so used to assuming that if you incentivize through capital, the rational response is for them to work harder, not to say, okay, I've hit my monthly requirement, I'm going to pull back. Fuck. So it's a very steep learning curve, right?
Yeah.
And so you try stuff, you fail.
Yeah.
We figured out around it on how to kind of, now the business is doing okay, but it was rough, right?
Yeah.
And we were very public about those failures as well. And I feel like that's okay. I think for different people, it's a different modality. For me, because I have somewhat of like a following on social media and like people watch this stuff, I have an advantage because when I start doing something, a bunch of people message saying, hey, I also have access to XYZ. I know this person. Can I introduce you to this one? So as much as you have a bunch of haters, you have a group of people that are supporting you and are materially adding value to the journey. So
but the haters are adding value too, right? By just hating and talking about it and just like,
I wouldn't call that value.
Yeah.
But
I thought like if they're paying attention to what you're doing,
it's more noise than signal, right? Like, because I would like to, I think people say stuff regardless.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, it's a very convenient way to live life where you're just behind a screen and you say something to someone and you're done, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, I don't think it effectively adds value. Sure, it gives you a little bit of like a thicker skin, which I suppose is helpful, but it doesn't add value to the business. Like we have people that just make up stories, make up rumors, write bad reviews, like all of that stuff as well, right? But at the same time, I still do it publicly because I think net it's beneficial. Because the ones that are supporting you are, they're like, hey, I know someone who could be your customer. We currently are looking for this. Can you supply to us? Like it builds like really strong opportunities.
Do you think that's because right now you're at a level of building, it's not just one thing, right? You're building multiple businesses at the same time. For somebody that's starting up, I call it verbal masturbation because like sometimes you can trick your mind into thinking that you've already done it when you're like, oh, I'm getting this guy or this lady as a sponsor. And like you say it and you say it and say it when the deal's not even through, that sometimes like that could kind of make you trick you into believing like something's working out. And when it doesn't work out, you're like, okay, I'm done with this entire thing. And most people give up in that.
Right. But look, if you're starting a business, like this is a very long journey, right? Like you can't really ever stop and say, I'm out. It'll take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, even for us, right? Like people only really knew about anything we've done over the last couple of years. We're 12 years in. No one cares about you for a long time. And I think that's okay. If the verbal masturbation helps, so be it.
Yeah.
But I suppose the goal is to make sure you're chasing the right metrics.
Yes.
And you're always chasing the right metrics.
So good.
Because you can say stuff, but if it doesn't happen, your metrics don't move, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So good. I love that. Metrics. You're such an interesting guy, Bhanuka. Like I'm always just perplexed with the stuff that you do. And I'm like, I still don't know what the heck this guy does.
You and me both, right? I think at the end of the day, it's about having fun. Like I enjoy what I'm doing.
I love that. Yeah.
Right. And the bulk of the work that we do, I look at it as net beneficial to everyone because we're adding employment, we're bringing foreign currency in. So even the agri is all exports, right? Like we're not selling here, we're selling outside. Okay. We're adding value, we're building brands. I think that eventually produces good things when we're creating I recently found out like we had someone ex-Surge that went ahead, started a company, raised money at a couple $1 million valuation. And to me, I'm like, oh, we were partly responsible for that journey.
100% you were.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a really cool thing to have. Which is why I think Sri Lanka is in a really interesting place, right? Like I know you mentioned this kind of juncture that we always come into and then we eventually shoot ourselves in the foot. I think this time it's different. Like all my bets are local. I have zero investments outside of the country. Everything is in Sri Lanka.
Wow.
I think we've solved a lot of our macro issues. We've solved a lot of our policy issues. We've solved, like it's really hard for us to screw it up now. Doesn't mean we can't, we can. But it's challenging, right? Like we have like twin surpluses, our reserves are improving. January this year was our highest tourism number ever, highest remittances ever. Like every insight is moving in the right direction.
Right.
Credit growth's at 25%. This year will be not as much as last year, but similar 5% GDP growth. Like those are really strong numbers.
Yeah.
And if we maintain that momentum, like if you can, there's this metric called the Purchasing Managers Index, which effectively says the motivations for people in construction to continuously build.
Right.
And for the index to go high, you need to have access to raw materials. You need to have access to a population that's willing to buy the product.
Right.
And 50 is like average, 60 is like very high, and it's starting to heat up. Sri Lanka today is at 67.1, which is like, if you look at the city around you, it's building very quickly. Like ICC has started building in Port City. Last week, Homelands announced 1,000 apartments.
Yep.
Prime is building like no tomorrow. Like all the guys are like, they're moving in that direction. So naturally, when all of those things happen, and it has a net benefit effect to everyone involved.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very, very bullish.
I'm excited. You're getting me excited about Sri Lanka right now.
I mean, look, I'm. It's selfish because I also plan to live here, right? And if I want to live here, I would like the place to be as good as it can get.
Yes. And it can.
Absolutely.
I love that. Bhanuka, thank you for being here on the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's very insightful. Me pretending to be an expert.
I don't think anyone is. This is just I think everyone should just be really curious about everything that's happening around them.
So good.
That's it, right?
Yeah. We never know. That's why I love having interns, because I learn more from them, actually. Suckers. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.